So we're here today with Brad, one of the main founding members of the Monster Hunter get-togethers in Melbourne. Brad, thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me, man. I mean, it's always good to spread the love of Monster Hunter to everyone else who wants to see on the Interverse.
So, how long has this Monster Hunter group been around?
Well, it came out with the release of Monster Hunter 3U, which was about April this year. So, a little bit afterwards, we decided to start a group. It was easier to find people with a group than it is online, because Monster Hunter is more of a local game compared to an online game, like a lot of the modern next-gen games are.
Did you have a hard time getting the group, started? Did everyone just, come around this community?
Well, it was a little bit weird. I mean, it started off with, to go into this story, I was at Supernova playing Monster Hunter with a bunch of the guys there. Nintendo, who's the PR manager Jamie, the PR manager for Nintendo, a good friend of mine, loves Monster Hunter as well.
Oh, cool.
And he had a huge, photo booth there where we could take photos of, in, Brachydios armor. And there were a bunch of guys there playing. And I was talking with my mate Chuck, and Chuck and I go, why don't we start a group? Why don't we, get everyone together and get them to start playing the game? So we did that. And then the Manabar started helping us out with their Street Bar Saturday events, expanded there. And then we got lucky. We kind of got a break there because Nintendo Australia put us on their press list, on their mailing list. So everyone knew about it. Not about the Facebook group, but about the events. Started turning up the events. Everyone started joining the groups. There's a couple of Monster Hunter Melbourne groups out there, but we now have combined them all into one kind of major group. We're just at about 150 members at the moment, celebrating not just Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, but now with Monster Hunter 4, people still playing Freedom Unite, all Monster Hunter games, as well as the surrounding culture around it.
Fantastic, good to hear.
So, is the Nintendo mailing list the sort of main thing you attribute the success of the Monster Hunter group to?
A little bit, but not entirely. I mean, that helped a lot because that major event timed with a Monster Hunter 4 announcement, and they also gave away a 3DS with a Monster Hunter 3U built in, so that was fantastic.
That helps.
But Monster Hunter is a surprisingly large community. The problem is it's hard to find the players. Because it is a local-based game, I think the reason why this Facebook group has succeeded more than other online Facebook groups for other games is because with Monster Hunter you need that local community. People will join the group because they want people to play with locally, and it's very different playing online. There's a lot less dynamic. I mean, just behind us at the moment, there's a game of 4 going, a game of 3U going, and communication is vital, and you can do that with a local game. Therefore, a lot more people have joined the group.
So it's a very social thing, naturally.
Oh yes, I mean that's why I do it. I love playing Monster Hunter with new people. That's the main reason I started the group. I wanted to find more people to play with and kind of, enjoy their company and bring them all to somewhere where I like to chill. So that was the main reason.
Nice for a change.
Yeah. Now, Monster Hunter as a series has enjoyed enormous success in Japan. Do you see that success being replicated here in Australia?
Not quite. It's a very different market. I mean, Monster Hunter 4 shipped 4 million in Japan, so it's really huge. I have a group of 150 members, so of course it's not going to be the same. When I went to TGS, I saw everyone with PSPs playing Monster Hunter. We're not going to get that success here, but there is still certainly a place for it, especially in Western culture. When I was at Capcom USA, they did an event there, and that event had 300 to 400 people turn up. So there's obviously still a very large spot for that community, and a spot for that franchise to really grow. And face it, Capcom are going to shove it out there anyway because it's their cash cow and it's what's keeping them afloat.
So true.
So does this group get any national or international attention?
It does. So Capcom Unity, so bless the guys at Capcom USA, shout outs to Brett and Yuri for helping me out. They gave us a lot of coverage over in San Francisco when we did our major event recently, All Hunters Eve, because that tied with their All Hunters Eve event. So we're getting international recognition. I was on Monster Hunter streams and people from Mexico knew who we were.
So you're like a star.
I would argue that not so
Global
much that,
success.
but I would argue that the community has taken off and the community has become a very well-known community. Behind the Japanese and American communities, I would very safely say we're third.
Really?
Only just in front of the UK community, which is also very, very large.
Wow, that's awesome.
Well, it just takes a lot of work, Nintendo have been really helpful giving us prizes. Capcom America have been sending prizes from the States to us to give away. And people love free things. That's just the way it is.
So the moral's pretty much free stuff gets your attention.
Free stuff gets the attention, but it also keeps the players because they're having fun, they're meeting new players. Everyone always needs something in Monster Hunter. You never go, I have every weapon I need. It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. It's not possible.
Said no one ever.
Exactly. There's always more to get. So people will keep coming back because they're going to need help getting it. It takes too long to do it by yourself. And in some cases, the difficulty barrier is just too high.
Too high, yeah. So, what do you personally think as a gamer that the series does so well? What does it have over, I guess, other similar, franchises?
I think, again, to go back to that local play thing, the local play thing helps a lot. I mean, in Japan, of course, not so much here. You can be sitting there playing Monster Hunter, and someone can joke you playing Monster Hunter, and then sit down and play. Mind you, that happens here too. That just happened to me a few days ago. And I was playing Monster Hunter 4, the Japanese one, and someone goes, "You guys playing 4?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they just sat down and pulled one out. I'm like, "What?
Awesome.
This game isn't even out in America or here yet. This is crazy." That community aspect is what keeps this particular franchise going. I think if it lost the community aspect, if it went full online, I do reckon that would spell disaster for it. It needs to keep that local aspect. It needs to keep that community game.
It brings people together.
And it brings people together. I mean, all battle collaboration games are meant to be like this. You know, you see God Eater trying it. It sold 400,000, 10% of the amount. Soul Sacrifice tried it. There's a bunch of other battle collaboration games out there. But Monster Hunter has the community down pat. They have the Capcom Festa events in Japan with, you know, everyone dressing up and there's giveaways. And it's kind of like Final Fantasy has a huge fan community.
Yeah. Yes.
Monster Hunter has taken that similar approach, and it's worked for them incredibly well, especially with them getting into like Nendos and Figmas and Capcom figure builders,
expanded
all
the
of that
universe.
as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
It sounds like it's got some real heart.
it does. It does. There's a lot of heart behind Capcom. Behind a lot of Capcom franchises. Don't get me wrong, but I think they've nailed it on the like hit the nail proper with Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
They just need to
definitely.
keep going in that right direction. I mean, it's getting harder and harder these days. There's more battle collaboration games coming out, more franchises coming out, and they all want a piece of that Monster Hunter pie. They know how well it's going. So, but I think they're staying on the right track. As long as they keep at it, it'll be around for a long time to come.
So, back to Monster Hunter 4 that hasn't been played yet. We've even got some guys behind here playing it. How do you manage with the game being all in Japanese?
It's difficult. I don't speak a lick of Japanese at all. I have the game as well. I was playing it until you guys are like, get into interview. I'm like, all right. But it does require a little bit of know-how. If you've played 3U or any of the older Monster Hunters, it helps because a lot of the armor sets give the same abilities. A lot of the weapons are the same and require the same materials to make. But in this particular version of the game, they added so many things which I still don't understand. The ability to exchange charms for other charms, which are kind of like accessories if you're like a JRPG player. Things like exchanging parts, because you can still make armor from old Monster Hunter games, but that monster is not in the game. So how do you get the parts? By trading those parts. I have a lot of difficulty. We get lucky here. A few of the guys in our community can read it fairly fluently, or at least read enough to get by. I can read a real little bit, and it helps me from time to time, but it's really all about memorization. And Monster Hunter is a learner's game. It's not a game you can go into blindly and kind of go, what am I doing? You'll get smashed. If you've done the research, you put in the hard hours, you played it, you know what's going on, that means you can play any Monster Hunter and know what's going on. Therefore, we're all playing 4, and we're all fine.
That's awesome. I love games that still incorporate stuff from past games, you know. They don't cut any of the fans out. You can always move forward.
Well, I would say that's a success to what Monster Hunter is. I mean, they release a new version every year. It's like, Street Fighter, there's a new version every year, and it's a slightly different extended version of what it was before. Capcom specialize at this. They're like, let's make a franchise and release 50 versions of the same game. And they'll do just that. But they do it with Monster Hunter as well. But it means none of the fans are excluded. And whenever there's a new numbered title, like 3 or 4, that's when the new fans can jump in. Like, I jumped in at Tri, even though I'd played Freedom Unite before it, which is basically 2. And that confused me. Freedom Unite confused the heck out of me. I didn't know what was going on. But then I played Tri, and it was so much easier. And 4 has only streamlined that process. That said, it'd be good to see that game released in English-speaking territories. I'm sure it'll happen. Like, let's face it now, it's gonna happen. There's no way it's not gonna.
It's going to.
It's shipped 1 million copies. It's just the case of when. Capcom are a little bit bad with their translation processes. They take over a year. They speed up. But
Get on it, Capcom. Word to you, all right?
But I reckon it'll come out soon. Of course, unfortunately, whenever they release it in English, you do miss out on a few things. A lot of the event-based DLC you miss. I don't know if we'll get the Mario, like the Mario cat suit or the Link armor or not. Hopefully we will.
Well, it's the stuff that you want.
The extra stuff.
Well, one of the players here has got the cat armor, got the Mario Luigi cat armor, because you can only get it by going into a 7-Eleven
That's right.
in Japan and getting the quest,
Yes.
and then playing online with somebody that has it. So it's a bit of a pain to get, but I'm looking forward to hopefully getting that myself very soon.
Great.
Definitely.
Well, let's hope that Capcom, sees the light of day soon and release Monster Hunter 4 in the West. We're eager to start, hunting new monsters, and there are a whole ton of new areas to explore, and we all can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm excited, mate. That's why I got it early. I got a Japanese 3DS specifically to play Monster Hunter 4. I mean, sure, it helps now. I can play like Project Mirai 2, Digimon World, a bunch of other games, but I got it for Monster Hunter, and I'm very happy I did.
Great.
We're glad you did too, Brad. Thanks for your time. Good luck with all your hunting.
Thank you. Happy to hunt.
Thanks, Brad.